that you are here with us this afternoon. And of course, on the program guide, there is a portion in which he will be sharing few words with the participants today on presentation of proper presentation on entrepreneurship will be shared with Mr. Lansanya. And as well, the man of the day and the speaker of today's occasion, Mr. Lawyer Lamin S. Sanyang, Lamin S. Kamara. Uncle Kamara, you welcome today. It's indeed a great privilege and an honor to have you here with us this afternoon. And of course, on the itinerary, we will try to talk a little more about who is to give us a presentation right now. Members of the high table, the chairman of the board, managing director, the judge speaker, Mr. Lawyer Lamin Kamara, Mr. Lansanya of the University of the Gambia, participants, invited guests. Permit me to tell you little about the man who is very special to today's occasion. Mr. Lamin Kamara is a veteran lawyer who has spent decades reading law and practicing law. Your deep understanding of Gambian constitution and standing firmly for truth and justice is well recognized by every single person of this occasion today. You standing firm to ensure that citizens of this nation who have been perpetrated, it's been cleared out and they are justified to be given what they deserve. Your interaction with the young people and serving as an inspiration to them in the field of law has been an outstanding performance in this country. And again, your deep understanding of the Gambian constitution to enlighten youths of this nation through working with them in a chambers which has served the interests of the people of this nation. It's quite amazing. We having you today here, it's not a regret to us. And I believe and I'm sure that the eloquence that we are expecting from you will definitely be remembered by each of us here present. Your experience that you've gathered, your age, would definitely drive us to be shared with a great wisdom for us as young people in a career building, and as well we'll be motivated and inspired by your eloquence today. Mr. Kamara, your presentation on business ethics today would definitely add our company in the coming 12 months, that is 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed once again delighted to invite Mr. Lamin Camara, a lawyer, a very veteran lawyer, an seasoned experienced lawyer who has been serving the interests of the people of this nation and been fighting for human rights and to ensure that each citizen is treated well. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Lawyer Lamin Camara. May we please give a round of applause to Mr. Camara.
Is this not working?
It's working.
Okay. Good afternoon. The chairman of the board, the managing director of the Yonna Group or Yonna Forex, members of the high table, ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed honored to be here with you today to deliver a few words on business ethics. But first of all, I must say that the introduction has been a little bit too elaborate, just that it did not touch on my age, because I was a little nervous that he might have to say that I am today 65 years old. Anyway, as lawyers, we are told and taught that when you are asked to speak, you stand up and speak, or you sit down and shut up. That is the rule. And I'm glad that I'm not asked to talk about the law here or the Constitution, but to talk about something that is pretty much commonplace. Commonplace in the sense that when it comes to business, to comply with the ethics, whether written or unwritten. However, most of the ethics of the business community in this country, if I may say, except for the law, which is strictly speaking not ethics, are unwritten. But we do know, coming from our respective homes, that the ethics that have been imbibed in us respectively by our parents in the course of the upbringing are pretty much akin to business ethics. And therefore, I'll be talking about very short ethics of business today. They are pretty much honesty, hard work, and discipline. Honesty, hard work, and discipline. So what I'm going to read here to you today as part of this speech is very short, but what I expected it to do is to resonate with all of us here sitting today, so we can in one way or the other imbibe these three principles in our daily lives. We can be honest in our transaction with people and ourselves. We can be disciplined in our works, and we can be hardworking to achieve our respective goals. After the introduction, I must say that I am very fortunate to stand before you today as a senior legal practitioner, because very few of us has this rare opportunity to speak to businessmen and women of your standing, as well as employees, on the importance of compliance with business ethics. And like I said in my introduction, the ethics I will be talking about today are hard work, honesty, and discipline. These are the most important tenets of any business, and indeed the foundation on which every successful organization stands. Therefore, the success of every business organization depends, by and large, on how the organization adheres to these sacrosanct principles. I must proceed to say that these values coexist and complement each other like the pillar of a building. They prop the business. They guard it to its desired destination. Any inadequacy in any one of these pillars tends to affect the other, and eventually the entire business starts to crumble. As a result, no meaningful success is achieved by any organization except one that holds the principles of hard work, honesty, and discipline so dear and lives by it as a religious document. The importance of hard work. Firstly, hard work within the business setting connotes the determination of success and connotes the determination to succeed and persevere on achieving the aims and objectives of the business despite the inherent challenges. And at this point, I must say, notwithstanding the challenges which sometimes can be daunting and seemingly unsurmountable, the key word for such hard work here is try. If you fail, try again. If you fail, try again. And let me pause and give you a little bit of a story of a young man who several years ago came from a rustic village and started a journey on his own to start a practice. This is similar to business, like I said in the beginning, because I am also in another kind of business. And here ethics is also imbibed in this story. When Dandimayo Chambers was started some 17 years ago, there was a very old computer, just fit for the museum, a very old printer, but this person who started the chambers could not even type at a computer. So he had to write everything he has and then take it to another lady to type and pay $1 per page. And for almost a month, nobody would visit him because he's a lawyer and nobody knows him, to say, look, can you conduct a case for me? But he did not give up. At some point, paying rent was a problem. Buying fuel for the car was a problem. Mr. Kanye would know who I'm talking about here. But he persevered. He tried to make sure that he succeeded. And succeeded he did later because of tenacity. And therefore, if you try and fail, try again. Again and again. And try again until you succeed and achieve your objectives. This is what I call hard work and determination. Hard work isn't a one-time thing. It is a series of continuous efforts in a particular time span. With pure dedication and a clear vision of the goal you want to achieve, your objectives will be realized with a dint of determination. For the vast majority of us, nothing in life comes easy, and business is no exception. Unfortunately, there is no secret to success beyond motivation and hard work. Another correlation of these ethics with hard work is discipline. Discipline ensures individuals behave in an acceptable way at a workplace and also adheres to the rules and regulations of the organization. Individuals who are disciplined are not only successful professionally, but they also achieve their aims in personal life. Disciplined employees are liked and appreciated by not only their superiors, but also by other fellow workers. Such employees climb the success ladder quickly compared to individuals who are recalcitrant, non-compliant, and selfish. To imbibe these tenets in you, you must work as a team, because business is not an isolated enterprise. The desire to have employees in the business is because you want to harness the potentials and also safeguard the aims and objectives of the business so that you can achieve your desired objective. However, misbehaving at the workplace spoils the entire work culture, eventually leading to zero or no productivity at all. Therefore, you need to understand that there is a difference between office and home, and you just have to behave in a manner that is in consonance with the ethics of the profession and the rules and regulations guiding the business. For that being the reason today, as a legal practitioner, I must enjoin on you to comply with the rules of fidelity, especially fiscal fidelity. What do I mean by fiscal fidelity? In the course of your employment, you'll be coming into contact with monies. Monies meant for third parties, money meant for the company, money meant for yourself. You must endeavor as much as practically possible not to mix funds. What is yours is yours. What is others belongs to others. What is the company's should remain the company's. The tendency and the commonplace attitude within Gambians these days that I have to get rich quick needs to be eschewed and denounced. I therefore implore you, all and sundry, to endeavor to be upright in the course of your transactions by adhering to these two simple basic tenets or ethics of business transaction: by being disciplined, and by being hardworking, and by being compliant to the ethics of the profession, and making sure that financially you comply with fidelity. To further elaborate on the importance of discipline, it enables one to cultivate the habit of punctuality and the execution of tasks on time, and this in turn yields productivity for yourself and the business. But my most favored word here today is honesty. Honesty in business isn't only about doing the things the right way. It is also about expressing the values in which a company is founded. It is a very key characteristic of business, as it sets the tone for the kind of work culture that you want to create, provides consistency in workplace behavior, and most importantly, it builds loyalty and trust in customers and prospective customers. It aids in the business in the following manners. 1, it establishes your work culture. Honesty establishes your work culture. It is one thing that we tend to overlook, but it gives goodwill enormously to every business. Because word of mouth in this jurisdiction is very important once trust is placed in a company. People can easily identify a company that abides by the ethics of its profession. A company that is trustworthy, a company that deals honestly and fairly with its customers. And therefore, whether you run a top-down or bottom-up organization, honesty is one of the most effective ways to establish the work culture that will propel your business to a long-term success. Work culture is also about values and beliefs that drive everything your company does, from how it makes its products to the way it markets those products and treats customers. As a leader, the importance you place on honesty can create the kind of work culture in which your employees feel empowered and validated. It creates consistent workplace behavior. When you create a culture built on honesty, you also help foster workplace behavior, an activity that is consistent regardless of external influence. In other words, your employees will behave with a consistent code of ethics regardless of the circumstances. For example, an employee will remain respectful and helpful even when faced with a nonchalant and a difficult customer who is in the wrong. Honesty builds trust with your customers. Companies spend several years building loyalty and trust with their target audience. And key matters of building what trust is honesty. That trust is honesty. When customers perceive that a business does things that's right, the right way, and cares about creating quality products and services, they tend to regard the business and give it credibility. Therefore, a business that is run on honesty is successful in soliciting and widening its customer base, most especially in the Gambia, which is a very small country, and people tend to advertise by word of mouth products and companies to each other by telling them, for instance, I have been to Mr. X, he is running a very good chambers. Mr. Y does not win a case in court at all. And we tend to overlook this, but it is extremely important because it tends to impinge on the character and the integrity of the company that they are talking about. Therefore, in conclusion, I wish to say that in view of the significance of honesty, hard work, and discipline, for any business to be successful, as outlined earlier, it could be safely concluded that these three principles cannot work in isolation and should guide every action in the execution of business duties. Therefore, be honest, be hardworking, and be disciplined. And all your efforts in carrying out your task and reaching your business goals will not go in vain. In conclusion, like I said before, I wish to, as a lawyer, we like quoting. I wish to quote a very short statement from a celebrated novelist, Chinua Achebe. As funny as it might sound, it is very important. It goes like this. A man who calls his kinsmen to a feast does not do so to redeem them from starving. We are called to a feast today, not because we are starving. Because they have food in their houses. When we gather in the moonlight at the village ground, it is not because of the moon. Every man can see it in his own compound. We come together because it is good for kinsmen to do so. We here are kinsmen. Therefore, let us continue with the team spirit and enjoy the power of togetherness. Let's smile not because we don't have problems, but because we are stronger than our problems. Alone we smile, but together we laugh. Alone we enjoy, together we celebrate. Alone we can talk, but together we can speak. Let's promote things that unite us than things that cause disunity. Unity is strength. The strength you need to have today is your financial stability, and it lies in your employer as well. Everyone is important according to their own unique purposes. Never look down on anybody unless you are admiring their shoes. Thank you very much for your kind attention. I wish you a very good deliberation.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara. Honestly, the ground was as silent as a graveyard, not because we don't have nothing to say, but quite honestly, those eloquence of yours would definitely be with us forever. Mr. Kamara, can we once again give him a round of applause? These are type of individuals that the world needs. Those who have taken their time to inspire the young people and to tell you the realities of your very environment. And briefly he said, he has talked about the secrets of success. On the whole, I never knew there are secrets of success or secrets to success. But he has definitely made it clear that there is no short route to success. There is no short route to success. It comes through hard work, commitment, determination, and discipline. He has as well talked about the core values of a business. And among them, discipline, hard work, and observing institutional cultures are core. Discipline, as he rightly said, is something that we can learn, and as well people can say others can bond with. But the best way to be motivated and to gain discipline is to learn it. Because the cultures of each institution differs from one to the other. And observing your institutional cultures might certain time determine how disciplined you are in your very institution. And as well here, there will be a prize given. All of us are disciplined here, but someone who is considered very disciplined, there is an award for the most disciplined staff of the company. So I am sure that eloquence of yours has definitely corresponded with the activities and the awards that we have here today. And of course, it will inspire those of us who are not opportune to be presented with that award. Mr. Sanyang, thank you very much. And Mr. Kamara, I'm so Sanyang Kundangas today. Definitely, they are my uncles, but whatever. I am Caesar, this is why I'm definitely strong to say Sanyang. But Mr. Kamara, thank you very much. We are very happy. But kontong of an amazing, I am not doing that. Somebody, man, is silver. I'm going to have a Sunday. But if you come over, Lord, before we send you all right, thank you very much, Mr. Kamara. We definitely appreciated that. And quickly, we will run into another activity in the guide. We will definitely try to look at a man who has spent his life in an academia, teaching young people, grooming their life into a right direction. After home, where our parents nurtured us, where we shape a career is school, colleges and universities. He who teaches people endeavored his life, dedicated it to young people by teaching them discipline, hard work and commitment, and as well could tell them there are various disciplines in which each of you could choose. Our teachers, are lecturers of colleges and universities. People who refused to drive exotic and bad minutes and big cars to say, I must hold markers and chalks just to see that my body is dirty And at the later part of my age, I might not see properly due to the chalk dust. But I must ensure that young people get something which will be beneficiary to the society tomorrow. These people could work in kindergarten, primary schools, senior secondary schools, colleges, and universities. Mr. Lamin Sanyang has been in the field, Mr. Lan Sanyang has been in the field of academia for ages and has definitely understand the realities of the national curriculums of various disciplines that are learned in the University of the Gambia. And I am sure his experience that would be shared with us here today would definitely be remembered, and we will never forget them. Ensuring that most of us are struggling here to attend the University of the Gambia so that our status could improve from one place to another, which cannot be attained without you. And you must ensure that those people observed and know what they are up to, and they have been shaped well. Your eloquence that you will share with us today will definitely be appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Len Sanyang of the University of the Gambia.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I would want to, at this juncture, thank all of you. As my brother said earlier, I think there were some exaggerations in my capability, but thank you for the compliments. The Chairman Board of Directors of Yonna Forex Bureau, the CEO, Mr. Toure, who is my own son, my brother, Lawyer Kamara, who is also been in the field of academia, not only a practitioner, but he is also a lecturer at the University of the Gambia. Other colleagues on the high table, my brother is seated there, and of course, my former student is seated next to me here. All other protocols duly observed. It is an honor to be associated with this occasion, an occasion where the management of Yonna takes pride in interacting with their staff to be able to build what we call a healthy relationship between management and staff of an institution or an organization. This is quite laudable, and I will encourage them to continue this occasion. Whilst Mr. Kamara was presenting, I'm sure a lot of the big ones on the high table saw themselves in his story, and including myself. And his presentation has made life very easy for me, because some of the things I should present on in terms of what we call attributes of successful entrepreneurs were presented in a fashion that is unbeatable. Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara, for making life very easy for me. Mr. Kamara himself, his presence here was not only to present on ethics, but his presence symbolized the life of a successful entrepreneur par excellence. Thank you. He started humbly. I'm sure if you had followed his story, I might be wrong, but I thought you were talking about your own story. So you could see he has been able to practically tell you what he went through, how he has been able to make it to become a successful entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs all over the world are considered to be the movers and shakers of economies. If you look at their lives, they are completely different from the life of a public servant. My brother, please, just excuse me. You know, Mr. Kanye is my very good brother. But if you look at the life of entrepreneurs, generally, public servants see them as much more affluent in terms of their lives. You look at Mr. Kamara and my brother or my son, Mr. Ture, who must have started the Forex very humbly or from a very humble beginning. But today, when you look at what he has been able to achieve with his team and the support of the employees, it is quite great. When I look right into your eyes, I see a lot of hope. And the hope has been able to, the hope will be achieved, or we have reached this far as a result of the motivation of your CEO and of course his partners. Entrepreneurs generally have some attributes, or some will call them characteristics. And one of the key attributes of every entrepreneur is self-motivation, self-drive. They have something right in them that pushes them, that triggers them to, of course, move ahead with whatever idea they have, to be able to support society, support young people, bring about change and development in the lives of not only themselves, but society at large. Apart from that, as an attribute, they also have passion for whatever they do. You look at our own CEO, that's Mr. Ture. I'm sure if he comes here to tell his story, he will tell you from the time he started this business with his colleagues, he has been passionate about it. That is why he has been able to go this far. So therefore, if you are thinking about going into an entrepreneurial journey, you should be ready and willing, or you should have passion for the type of business you are venturing in. Also, as part of attributes of entrepreneurs is that they take risk. I'm sure if you talk to a lot of entrepreneurs, they will tell you, I had to risk so much. You risk your finance, you risk your savings, sometimes you even risk your family. I can tell you, if you have deep interaction with lawyer Kamara, Mr. Jame, Mr. Ture, they will tell you there were times when their families, especially our wives, would feel that, I hope my husband is not cheating on me. When, of course, he spends so much time ensuring that his business succeeds, they work beyond the number of hours those in the public sector would work, because they see this business as our own. And not only that, they also have attributes to be able to create networks. That is, to build friendship, to build relationship. Because through networks, there is nothing you can achieve. In fact, research has shown that managers who are good at networking are more effective and efficient in achieving their goals as managers. And it's the same way for entrepreneurs. They are also persistent. My brother mentioned about this earlier. They do not give up. He gave you the story, so I don't have to give you any story. But that is exactly how it goes. When they have, or when there is an obstacle, they push through. In fact, there are times when they tell you their real story, it is as hard as breaking a wall, just to be able to reach the other end or to be able to achieve their goals. And apart from that, they also set what we call challenging goals. I'm sure a lot of you will set goals for yourself. But entrepreneurs do not just set what we call ordinary goals. They set goals that are difficult to achieve, and they work very hard to be able to achieve those goals. So therefore, as you work with your CEO, you are his representatives. You will, of course, put your feet in his shoe when you relate with what we call your customers, when you relate with partners on his behalf, because he wouldn't be able to be at every place. So therefore, some of these characteristics I have just mentioned are characteristics you should, from now on, if you have not imbibed them in your life and work life, you start picking them and make sure they are part of your lives. Ladies and gentlemen, the great people on the high table, entrepreneurship, as I said earlier, has been or has spurred economic development across the world. And today, countries that are recognized as highly developed have had their entrepreneurial sectors buoyant, have had their entrepreneurial sectors well developed. In a study coming back home, conducted in 2018 on SMEs mapping by some of my colleagues, they have found that a country like the Gambia, we have over 115,000 SMEs. We have over 115,000 SMEs. Looking at the number of number of people that have been employed by these SMEs, I'm sure we would come to realize that entrepreneurs are a bigger employer than even the government and the public, other public or parastatals combined. So therefore, the importance of entrepreneurship towards the economic development of any country is so great. Because one, it creates what we call employment. We have seen the statistics in terms of the number of unemployed people or youth as far as our country is concerned. So therefore, we need to applaud our entrepreneurs for helping us reduce the gap of unemployment in our country. Secondly, entrepreneurship or entrepreneurs bring about creativity in any country. Today, Yonna Forex Bureau and other entrepreneurial firms have come with new products that, of course, we are all benefiting from today. I think some few weeks ago, I have been informed that Yonna, I think they are even into microfinance, going into microfinance, and not only going into microfinance, but I understand they are also going into what we call Islamic microfinance, which I think it's a great opportunity, and also that's a step in the right direction. Looking at a country where we say 95% of the population are Muslims. And we should applaud them for their creativity and innovation. Another, of course, reason why we say entrepreneurship brings economic development is because they pay taxes to the state. And paying taxes to state, we all know what it means. Through those taxes, the state is able to build our roads. They are able to provide us with health facilities. They are able to provide us with other social amenities that, of course, better our lives and makes us feel much more comfortable. In addition to that, they bring what we call innovation. We have seen in the last few years the amount of changes that are happening in the entrepreneurial landscape. We have seen Gambians, young Gambians, going into ventures that are changing the dynamics, that are things that we have not known in this country. We have seen a lot of local products now being sold in, of course, supermarkets, which has never been the trend. However, there is a lot more to be done when you compare our country with other countries in terms of innovation. Beyond that, we know very well that a lot of entrepreneurs in this country are faced with a lot of challenges. And among the many challenges that we are faced with, one of them is financing. And of course, that is the very sector in which Yonna is. And we know that there are huge gaps. So therefore, it is an opportunity for Yonna to use the entrepreneurial mindset and all the necessary attributes of entrepreneurship to be able to take advantage of the market, take advantage of the gaps in the market by partnering with individuals, institutions that could work with them to develop new products and, of course, strengthen the achievements they have made so far. And for entrepreneurship, we know very well that another major challenge is cost of borrowing. Generally, cost of borrowing has been a major problem in this country. And as a result, a lot of entrepreneurs find it difficult to have access to the necessary loans. However, there are some new opportunities that are out there. And I would, of course, encourage entrepreneurs to start going in those type of ventures. At international level and also at local level, we have got ITC through their different projects. You know, YEP is one of them. They have grants. And also they have got some loans, loan schemes. And I'm sure Mr. Toure is also aware of some of the opportunities at the level of Islamic Development Bank, especially he's thinking of, well, they are almost set to start rolling the Islamic microfinance. So there are a lot of opportunities there. And of course, for other entrepreneurs, there are also some opportunities that are there, of course, especially if you are going into green technology, right? Agriculture, green technology, and so on and so forth. So, to cap up my presentation, I would implore all of you that you work with an entrepreneurial firm and you should give the firm your very best and make sure that the characteristics I had mentioned earlier, if they are not part of your life, pick them from now on and work with your CEO and his management team to make sure Yonna becomes one of the best in this country. Because you look at a company that employs over 100 people in this country, I think that is remarkable and great. Can we give a round of applause to the management of Yonna and ourselves for coming this far in ensuring that you contribute towards the economic development and growth of this country, and also developing yourselves at a personal level. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lansanyang, for that wonderful speech. And one thing that inspired me is that number of families in this country have been fed from the product of this company, which is definitely inspiring, and the company is definitely contributing to the socio-economic development of the nation, which is definitely very inspiring. I could remember one time when Nelson Mandela attended an occasion and he was asked a question. He said, "Let me stand up. I believe in standing when dealing with difficult questions so that I can intimidate you with my height." But teachers too and lecturers always do certain actions when they are speaking so that they can intimidate their students. So it was definitely not a surprise that each of us must be intimidated and as well be more concentrated during his presentation. Mr. Lansanyang, I think those of us who are not into entrepreneurship and will definitely try to get into it sooner rather than later. So thank you very much for those eloquence, and we definitely appreciated them. And I have also understood that there are very important and special people here with us who have joined us recently, and 20-25 minutes ago, and Mr. Jobate, Deputy Director of Forex Department, Central Bank of the Gambia, has joined us a few minutes ago. Mr. Jobate, you're welcome. We were deeply in the middle of the presentations, and we definitely like to do this intro, but when the presentation and the lectures, I can see that they are, and they were very nice and pleasant, so we couldn't have done it earlier on. So Mr. Jobate, you're welcome. We have as well received a friend, Mr. Johnny. We want to welcome you to the occasion, and thank you very much for joining us this evening, and we definitely appreciated it. And without wasting much time, but are we really hungry, or we are taste? Mr. Barrow. Camera, I want to ask if we can have lunch, then we come back. Okay, if Camera Kundanka is fasting, then there is no way we can go for lunch. Let's wait during, at the time of Maghrib, then we can try to, have lunch, please. So, Mr. Jobate, thank you very much for coming here. Mr. Jobate has been friend, family, and a regulator to the Forex business in this country, and he has been very independent, neutral and impartial, dealing with the Forex department in this country, and have been always treating each department fairly, depending on your needs. So, Mr. Jobate, we would definitely like you to give us a few words of wisdom. words of wisdom quickly. We'll count to 40. You also want to intimidate us with your height? Okay, no problem.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. As the moderator rightly said, I am Mr. Jabati, and I work for the Central Bank of the Gambia. And Yonna Financial Services has been under the regulation of the Central Bank of the Gambia since 2009. And as the CEO and some of the long-serving staffs will recall, during their teaching stage, Yonna has gone through significant, rigorous regulatory checks to ensure that not only do they come and participate in the market, but they participate legitimately, and they participate towards enhancing financial inclusion and making sure that the financial intermediation is done properly in line with the laid down rules and regulations. I have not been very much friendly at the beginning because I wanted to ensure that they go through the proper protocols, and at the end of the day, they wouldn't have challenges during the course of their lifespan. What we have been foreseeing was to ensure a going concern, which today we are all witnessing. We are talking about 12 years of existence, or 13 of existence of Yonna. If they had started on a flimsy regulatory biasness, I'm not sure they would have been here today. The CEO at times will be forced to cry in my office that you're treating me too hard. But I'm sure today we are all reaping the benefits. That Yonna today is not only a common name in the financial industry, but it's a very big employer, a challenge to an emerging market economy. We can confidently say that what we have seen and noticed as regulators is the proper and rapid expansion of Yonna to areas where hitherto were not served by financial institutions. It was going to be a nightmare. It was going to be a mad dream to tell an existing commercial bank, go and open a bureau at Misraba Mariama, or go and open a bureau at Kalaji at the time, Quinala, Njabakunda in Badibu. Almost all the 7 administrative regions of the Gambia can feel the presence of Yonna. And as regulators, we are highly elated with that. It is not a surprise because we knew from the onset that the regulatory challenges we have placed on Yonna, that the test they have passed from that they will really go far. And today we are here with Yonna. I am highly amazed that Yonna did not only expand to meet the needs of its customers, but Yonna has gone tremendously far, above average, to make sure that the structures that ensure the stability of a financial institutions that exist in higher financial regulatory institutions exist in Yonna. During numerous on-site examinations, we have discovered in the most recent that Yonna is staffed with a compliance department of highly skilled and educated young Gambians. In 21st century, you cannot be called a financial institution if you don't have a proper compliance department. And Yonna Financial Services has demonstrated that by appointing very young, bright Gambians in that department. And as a result, the regulators are very confident that most of the time, Yonna will never be found wanting in meeting regulatory requirements. We were equally not surprised When we realize or receive an application that Yonna want to metamorphose from a Forex bureau to a microfinance, meaning Yonna has confidence in themselves that the structures they have, they are now in a position not only to serve the customers, but to also accept deposits from them in the form of a microfinance. And I believe with what is happening now, Yonna's application, I believe, is at an advanced stage of being granted a microfinance license. With this short note, I will want to take the opportunity to thank the high table. My own elder brother, Mr. Kamara, is here. The academians, Mr. Sanyang. I mean, they are all, part of Yonna in a sense that that guidance is what has propelled Yonna to this level. And we must say we are very grateful to you, Mr. Kamara, Mr. Sanyang, and the entire high table team. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Kamara. We definitely appreciated those, Mr. Jobade. I now turn to you. I'm not very good in capturing names, and definitely, I definitely hope participants would permit me that, and I beg your pardon, definitely. What we definitely gonna appreciate here, Mr. Jobate, we appreciated that the company Yonna is very compliant when it comes to the regulations of the Central Bank of the Gambia, and we're definitely very happy that you've as well recognized the importance of compliance department in Yonna Forex and its rapid expansion at the length and breadth of this country, which is definitely very appreciated. You know, in our Kian, we don't have any bank. Kian Tolman Bank, so our hope is Yonna. So, definitely speaking, Kian Tolman Bank, so Kabiring Yonna Nada Queenala, Panaka Mulebar, Siam Bank Bekiam Pananet, but Bunkol Tenyawal no. So, it's like Yonna, your presence in our land, Kiang, is definitely appreciated. And in fact, we will do more local sendings and transactions from Kian than any part of the country. Come January 2021, inshallah, from Kian. So that rapid expansion of serving people, getting the service to the doorsteps of the people of the country is definitely appreciated. And this is what customers definitely need from you. So quickly, Uncle Mr. Kemoba, he is an educationist, a brother, and as well an academist. We will definitely try to appreciate your presence here with us, and we've learned that you joined us in the mid of the presentations. So as a result, we couldn't have an opportunity to say welcome, but rather, or better too late than never, we want to say welcome to today's occasion, Mr. Kerr. Thank you very much. And we want to quickly have a look at or witness the presentation of awards, and from there we will have a few more speakers to come. As you all know, the general manager hasn't given his remark, and I was expecting someone also to speak. I don't know if I'm going to get him on at the podium, but probably he might appear today. I think he's going to definitely appear today. I don't know. But anyway, we will definitely love to witness the presentation of awards, and I am sure Madam Chair, Madam Fatou, their preparations are at a high gear, and to make sure we have a presentation of awards right now. But before that, I want one person to tell you who is the most jovial someone in Yonna Forex, and what is the most common action that the party does. Who can tell me? And you demonstrate that action. the most jovial, funny, friendly, somebody. And what is the most common action that the person does? I want to demonstrate that for you. Who can tell us that? Who can help us with that? All right. The question that I was asking was that, who is the most jovial, funny, and friendly someone in Yonna Forex? And who can demonstrate one of his actions or her actions that he or she does? Madam Ami Sise said she knows the person. So let's give her the floor. Madam, stand up.
Good afternoon, everyone. I would say it's you, Lamin. You seem so funny, you sound so funny when you call me Ami Dokot and you walk like that.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That's unfair. That's unfair, definitely. Ami, anyway, anyway, that's your judgment. But then I would rather say, and what does that laughter represent? Who can tell me what that laughter represents? That laughter that I have just done. Who can tell me what it represents? The laughter that I have just done. Who can tell me what that laughter symbolizes? What did I want to say? What did I want to say before I laughed? Who knows that? Who knows that? Who can tell me what that laughter means? Can someone tell me that? Can someone tell me what that laughter really meant? No one. All right, if someone said I would definitely say you, the person is the funniest guy. Definitely. So, but unfortunately, I mean, thank you very much for that. I have definitely appreciated it. And meanwhile, the presentation team is not yet set to...
We are ready.
Are you done?
Yeah, done.
Good. Madam, Mr. Chair of the Board, Mr. Guest Speaker, invited guests, General Manager and the Managing Director, staff of the company, in 2020 awards categories are here presented. The first award that we will have is the most outstanding staff. Is an award category that we have that we would definitely going to present here. The most outstanding staff. Those of us who have one time been teachers would definitely know what A and A plus meant. So when we say the most outstanding, that does not mean he is him alone or her alone. I may be one. So the most outstanding category would be awarded, and we would as well have risk and compliance, and the staff who has definitely been very complied and helped the management manage the risk factors of the business would definitely be awarded. The attendance award will also be given, and as well we will also give the most disciplined staff, male and female. Risk and compliance also is male and female. Attendance award also is male and female. The most disciplined is also male and female. And we will have the customer service is 3 awards, and we as well have the Supervisor's Award, the Supervisor of the Year, that award, which is 1, and we as well have dress code, staffs who definitely dressed well when they are going to office, because you know what Yonna really does, more especially for males. Before you are posted in the field, upon being confirmed as a qualified cashier, you are always been bought brand new suits, 2, blue and black more often. So we definitely wanted to see that there are people who respect and make the basis of those resources that were being spent on you guys to dress well in office.
You can call the first phone call.
The first award.
And Uncle Lamin will present that. The most this way, because you talked about it.
Uncle Lamin Kamara.
Yeah, we'll present that.
We would definitely like to call the first award the most outstanding staff of the year for Yonna Forex and Enterprises. Someone definitely was it. The most outstanding staff of the year. More than 150 people here seated. I said the most outstanding staff of the year. The most outstanding staff of the year will be presented by Uncle Lamin Kamara. I must start with him. Then I come to the awardee. Before, if I call the awardee before him, it's something else. So I want him to come here so that you can know he will present, because when he is coming, it's something else. The most outstanding staff of the year is no other person than Mr. Musa Suso. Opposed. Mr. Musa Suso has been definitely outstanding and very crucial in our operations. He ensures that cars are available at various ends of this country. Yes. Mr. Musa Suso has definitely been outstanding. Musa could be told right now, after closing the work, to say, Musa, you should move to Basse right now. So it's 6 o'clock and he is a married man. He should move to Basse to distribute cars and help us. Musa will definitely go without reaching home and ensure that all the branches are given cash. We definitely appreciated your efforts. Another award category that we have here is risk and compliance. The first, we have 2 awardees for this category. Ms. Penda Balde for female category, risk and compliance.
Which office?
Mr. Penda Balde of Gambisara branch. Gambisara. For male category, and we have Mr. Ibrahim S. Cisse of Kerewane branch is awarded risk and compliance male category. Cisse Kundankol Bukabai.
So Uncle can now take his seat and then call another.
Uncle Kamara, thank you very much for that job. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sisa Kundankol Bukabai. Ibrahima Baraka. Bimbe sisi ole fale e ba bila danya temal bar ma fay bulo duran kono. Attendance award. Attendance, this goes with punctuality and regularity. We are not looking at one aspect of it and overshadowing the other one. No, we are looking at punctuality and regularity. Attendance award goes, I'm very jealous. This one goes to 2 ladies. Why not men? Okay, I say 2 ladies. I'm sorry for that. Mrs. Ami S. Jallo, Attendance Award. Ami S. Jallo of Same Medina branch. Ami S. Jallo of Same Medina. Can we have the supervisor, Ismaila Sonko, to receive this on behalf of Ami S. Jallo? Uncle Bekai, may you help us present this award? Ami has been very committed and dedicated, has been always in office every day and on the right time, at the right time, or before the right time even. Another award of attendance for punctuality and regularity goes to Miss Kombembai of Farafenni 1 branch. Do we have Miss Kombembai here of Farafenni 1 branch? Bari bunko ni la kuoli be man kuno tema. Bari bunko ni la kuoli be ite jakalindil. I will never move you. Ite kay ite na remove la doto. Thank you very much, Miss Kombembai. Yabadi bunkol buton lo nyaw bete ata bakel. We have the most disciplined staff of the year. The most disciplined staff of the year. Mbela kuluta de barnin dol be chebal konto neke bul fulo dit dol ka ñoy. Ah, dol ka jele, dol ke bul kilo di. Dol ni bulo di do ni mbor bayta. Dol ni ba satele sa fe dol se de foni parete yetela hajola. But between science and so the most disciplined staff of the year, we have male and female category. For male category, we have Bakari El Konta of Wasu branch. Bakari kane ko jimi de e ko wolindi de. For female category, the most disciplined staff of the year, Kwalkoyatal de 2020, things were very hard and difficult. Where it was difficult to talk to someone, do that, go there, do this, do that, and they move on it. More especially on the side of ladies. Definitely, and quite frank with you guys, Mrs. Sajo Kanyi is very disciplined. Sajo Kanyi of Farafenni 1. Sajo Kanyi. Sajo was in Bakadaji, but now has moved back to Bansang. Bansang 1. Bansang 1. That is, in Bansang zone, we have Bansang 1 and 2. We as well have Makati. We have Birkamaba. We have Kudang. We have Kunting, we have Karantaba, we have Same Medina, we have Wasu. There is no branch that Sajo has not ever gone. If someone is sick, Sajo is there. If someone is absent, Sajo is there. If someone is on leave, Sajo is there. If someone is busy on anything, Sajo is there. Miss Sajo has been very, very disciplined. Sergeant, thank you very much. Without a complaint. Without a complaint. Miss Sergeant, thank you very much. Please, please, please.
For 3 people, customer service award, 3 people.
The Customer Service Award goes to 3 people. The first awardee is Miss Jacqueline Mendy. Miss Jacqueline Mendy of Brigama 1, but now Customer Service Department. Kabiri nga move na Customer Service akonye Mr. Sise. Sa na pabiri ngol dung na Social Security pabiri du nga dolbe sot la membe to patola. So Miss Jacqueline, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Alkana beti nyanti nyanjande. Another Customer Service Award goes to Mr. Ali Danso of Garawal branch. Mr. Ali Danso of Garawal. Mr. Ali, Nuari, Mr. Ali. Wallahi Nuari. Another Customer Service Award goes to Antoinette Correa of Tipper Garage branch. Antoinette Correa. Do we have Antoinette here? May we have the supervisor, Mariama Jammeh, to receive that on her behalf? Do we have another problem? Or we continue? Can we have, and Mr. Dabo, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can we have Uncle Abbas for this presentation? Supervisors Award. Yonna wartalde bari. Aman sone ade. It wasn't a competition, but it was about commitment. And we acknowledge and recognize that each of you has performed tremendously well and has been your own manager at your various ends. But here today, we would definitely appreciate, I'm not saying the Supervisors Award of the Year, I said we would definitely appreciate Mr. Ismaila Sonko's commitment, hard work and determination. Mr. Ismaila Sonko of CRR Zone. Mr. Ismaila Sonko bari ni ka boje yele taro safenye ye nyamurumuru yamay. Next year Bachilo will not win this award. I'm warning you. Okay. The dress code who observed our dressing protocols as an institution, who ensures that whenever institutions visit your office, personnel from different departments, different disciplines come to your office, could definitely know that you represent the image of Yonna. So we want to definitely appreciate the dress code of Mr. Ustaz Usman Bojang of Sanyam branch. But if you move to Malangoti, you have a kutu boke, salesman. You have a kutu boke. Anytime you go to Usman's office, Usman is in his suit. Usman is in his suit dressed well. It doesn't matter where he served the company, but he is definitely dressed well all the time. Wow. The second one, now the management is fair now. This one is both male. There is no single female here. Now the management is fair. And Mr. Bakari El Konta, once again, for the dress code, Mr. Bakari El Konta from Wasu branch. Dress code for the female category. Dress code for the female category. We have Mrs. Mariama Diouf of Koina branch. Mrs. Mariama Diouf. Mrs. Mariama Diouf of Koina branch. Thank you very much, Mariama. Koina jampara nyawnyam. Mariama bukafo moten jalajan. She dresses well to office. Mariama is not me, who always dress roughly to Tipa Garage, the center, the head office. No. She is in Koina, as far as Koina, the farthest branch we have in this country. But she is always dressed neatly and very decently. Mariama, thank you very much. Another person goes to Miss Sunkari Ture, the vault manager, assistant operation. Yalo nga fale ne jari bachilo te nyin sot la jang. Okay. I told you guys. Senior staff bakilo te nyu award sot la jang jari. We are definitely moving to Uncle Abbas, thank you very much. This is a very low one. If I want to keep it here, it takes a long time. Can we have Mr. Lan Sanyang to help us do this presentation quickly? Awards for commitment and passionate. Commitment, as emphasized by the guest speaker, hard work and dedication and enthusiasm is very important in our service. We have a number of awardees for this category. We have seven awardees for this category. The first one, Mr. Babu Karinjai of Bambo 3 branch. Mr. Babu Karinjai of Bambo 3 branch. Mr. Babu Karinjai, thank you very much. Your speech, Mr. Kamara, has definitely corresponded. The discipline with commitment and determination is what makes a success. So I am very sure that, inshallah, by God's grace, Mrs. Sadio Kanyi will be successful. Another award for most committed staff of the year goes to Miss Sadio Kanyi of Bansang 1. Sadio always answers whenever you call, no matter the danger, no matter the sacrifice. Sadio will always go there to ensure that the company is being served well, and she fulfills her commitments to the signatory she has made during her appointment. Miss Sadio, thank you very much. Mrs. Sadio, thank you. Thank you very much, Sadio. Thank you very much. Another one goes to Mr. Musa Jabi of Postings Department. Mr. Musa Jabi has definitely been outstanding. Those of us who served the company in the enterprise department must know him very well. Where all of us will go home and the sales staffs will be late to come, about 5 to 6 sales staffs, he will wait for all of them to come and their cards have been confirmed, proper records have been kept so that a proper, records can be presented to the management. Musa, thank you very much for your effort. We appreciate it. This one goes to Auntie Fatou Meta Jamme. Auntie Fatou Meta Jamme at the head office, and permit me to say, she made us clean every single day. For everybody to understand, Auntie Meta Jamme is a cleaner for this company, but she can't only clean, she can deposit and withdraw. She can sign for the company. She can go to institutions for company errands. Auntie Meta can this for us to eat, for Kamarakundangas to kill themselves. Auntie Meta can do all this. Auntie Meta Jamme, for being an outstanding staff of the year. Thank you very much, Auntie Meta.
These are all part of the package, for okay. 2,000 cash, bag of rice 50 kg, and sunflower oil 20 liters, plus a certificate.
All right.
So she won herself all this stuff.
Auntie Meta Jamme won herself $2,000 is cash prize, 50 kg of rice, 50 kilograms of a bag of rice.
Yonna rice.
Yonna rice, our brand. Sunflower 20 liters oil, and a certificate. Auntie Meta, thank you very much. Auntie Meta, I don't know how do you say Abaraka in Jola. I had wanted to do that. Another award for commitment goes to Mr. Musamboj of Yonna Enterprise. Uncle Musa, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
So, they are trying to clarify. The outcome they are saying that Musamboj also have won for himself $2,000 cash. Okay. But this envelope is they made it. Okay. So this one, he won himself $2,000 cash, bag of rice.
Okay. Uncle Mr. Mboj has also won himself $2,000 cash prize, a bag of rice, 50 kg, 20 liters sunflower oil, and a certificate. Uncle Mr. Mboj, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We now move to, still under the same category, we have Michael Mendy of Tanjay branch for Commitment Award. Michael Mendy of Tanjay branch. If he is not in attendance, may we have the supervisor receive that on his behalf, please? Madam Mariama Jobate is receiving that on behalf of Michael. Mariama, the supervisor of Brucibi Zone, is receiving that award on behalf of Michael. Another award goes to Ramu Manjang. And during the speech of the head of operation, she stated that we needed a minute silent to pray for those friends and employees who were here with us last session, but they couldn't make it to today's session. Some are alive, some are not present due to health conditions. Madam Ramu Manjang has definitely been outstanding at Gunjur branch. Madam has been ill for months, but she was still in office. We were told that there were days when Madam will go to office, and when she alights from the vehicle and she will faint. She will collapse, be due to illness, and wake up and still go to office and serve her customers. And when we asked her to go home and sit down, we said, Madam, you need to go and relax. Your health is not better as we speak. She went 1 week. The staff who went to cover her up, she told me, Lamin, I think I need to go back to office. This guy definitely couldn't still have much understanding with my customers. I think I need to go and serve these customers before our company lost. And they definitely have faith and trust in the company. And once that trust is lost, it will be very difficult for us to get them back. And she got back to office. And alhamdulillah, until then, the management tries to get Madam home for her to get a better health care for her to come back to work. Madam Ramu Manja is not in attendance today, but we definitely appreciated this, and we will say thank you, Madam Ramu Manjang, but the supervisor of the zone, Mariama Jobate, can receive that on Madam Ramu's behalf.
We forget to Babakar Njai, for him. Call him to come and receive.
Mr. Babakar Njai, can you come and receive? Yela bako kono fengo ni ko mo dila nte fo mala membeji. E ko na o kama.
Salang can take his seat after this.
From that presentation, Mr. Sanyan, thank you very much, and that's appreciated. And we want to have Mr. Jobate. Mr. Jobate, can you help us present these awards? This category is proactive staff. Do we know what is proactive? Alone. Okay. These are people who definitely do works without being told every detail. These are people who will sometimes do actions to ensure that customers always come to our office and they respect our services. Quickly, we have Mr. Sambasi of Janjambure branch. Mr. Sambasi, please, can you tell me Janjambure and Makati, where is too far? I don't know. I want to travel to Janjambure and Makati. I don't know where is too far. You can please help me.
So Uncle Aliu, he also won himself $2,000 cash, bag of rice, and 20 liter sunflower oil. Uncle Aliu.
Right. Yeah. So this other award goes to Uncle Aliu Kamara, the supervisor of Brikama Zone. Uncle Aliu Kamara has won himself a cash prize of $2,000, 150 kilograms of Yonna rice, and 20 liters sunflower oil. Uncle Aliu, abaraka bake bari kamara kundangale ya kuwal beti nyawo. Kaya wala problem moti. Another award goes to Mr. Ibrahima Sawane. Mr. Ibrahima Sawane, supervisor of Tabokoto Zone. Mr. Ibrahim, bio rider sedahebul demanding. Kabio rider sedahebul demanding. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. And we have certificates of appreciation. And Uncle Mr. Jabari, thank you very much. Thank you very much for that one. These are certificates of appreciation. And we have 5 people for this category. Or 4 awards, I'm sorry for that. And, may we have a chairman? May you help us present? Can the general manager do that? Yeah, he said maybe present that. It's okay. It's okay. You help me. I'm going to present this out of Mr. Momadou Barrow, the general manager of Yonna Forex and Enterprises, would do these presentations on behalf of the chairman. Certificates of appreciation. This one goes to Mr. Bakari Mani, the supervisor of Basse Zone. Ibe sarakule manyo nyini kuolto. Jaram ko iko dimalle sarakulo ti ke bulo wulin. Nyejele. Ibe sarakulo manyo nyini kuolto. Right. We have Ngone Jata of Kauru branch. Ngone Jata. Ngone. Lumo ila dulaka dule de. Ni lumo be kerin kay. Ila je ka dule. Another certificate of appreciation goes to Mr. Mohammed Domorla Kamara, Central Bank. Central Bank won himself a cash prize of $2,000, 50 kilograms of Yonna rice, and 20 liters of sunflower oil. Mr. Mohamed Kamara, yalom yalbari from Pala Janni Nyobe Banna. Tuloni Mano, I started one. We have Uncle Alhaji Papa Sitse to be presented this award as certificate of appreciation. Do we have Uncle Alhaji in attendance? Ismaila, the supervisor of Sierra Zone, can you receive on his behalf, please? Another certificate of appreciation goes to Head of Operation, Mr. Abdurrahman Jallo. Thank you very much. An operation assistant, but very committed and determined. Mr. Abdurrahman won himself a cash prize of $2,000, 50 kilograms of Yonna rice, and 20 liters of sunflower oil. Thank you very much, Mr. Abdurrahman Jallo. Thank you very much. Another certificate of appreciation goes to the supervisor of Bambo Zone, Madam Mariama Jammeh. Madam Mariama has served this company for too long. She has been steady. I can move Mariama this morning and bring her in the afternoon. And she will come. Yes. So, Mariama, thank you very much. Can we have Mr. Ture himself do that? Yes. Can we have the CEO, the Managing Director of Yonna Forex and Enterprises, Mr. Sherifo Ture, to present this award? This is a very heavy award. Anyway, so it's definitely very, very important that we award this. The most valuable, the most productive staff of the year, the most valuable, the staff that cashiers can depend on, operation can depend on, all the line managers can depend on, CEO can depend on, cleaners can depend on, the cooks can depend on, drivers can depend on, Yonna Enterprise can depend on, sales staffs can depend on. It's no other person than Mr. Abubakar Jallo of Yonna Forex. Mr. Abubakar Jallo is the head of postings and reconciliation. Mr. Abubakar, thank you very much. My humble boss. Barmamra bibe sundi ndi ko kalungol be sum biyo patile be kering. This another important award for longest serving staff who have served this company more than 10 years. By then, as Kentapita from primary school. This is no other person than Madam Kadi Jata, head of operation. The longest serving staff. The longest serving staff. Who has served this company for 11 complete years. Madam Kadi Jata, thank you very much. We are looking forward to another 11 years. So thank you very much. And the brand ambassador to Yonna Forex and Enterprises, Uncle Sharif Jawla, our father, our uncle, brother, and an ambassador to the company, and Mr. Sharif Jawla of Kunting is here to receive this award. Ala ko kitanye kontane ku bati. Yonna nkolu fuda da Kunting so se ku nyawnyaranding ni ala bunda konkonga sedayela e dankuma. Nim fuda da tilibulol lan kol lafta meeting wala alansaro janni ba fola alansaro be sila as a siran londe men siya da siran muanti akonya nyimbe be fala sato ke ballal andu wala kake. And as a media use at his age, as a media platform all use to sell out the brand of this company, at a time waste at his age, with a very extended family, to ensure that our brand is being sold to the customers, both within and beyond the borders of this country. Mafole Abaraka Bake, Uncle Sherif, Uncle Tanta Bake. The awards that he is going to benefit from is $2,000 is cash prize. Darasi Willie Fuller, Uncle Sherif, Aharjeta Walela, Ntala Katakuwa Jonola, Kuru Solem, Anim Mani Bota Killing, Kilo Talulu, Anim Sunflower Oil, Walemu Dulin Bidomba Killing, Memu Litari Muanti, Uncle Sirif, I will win Fana, Uncle Sirif Abaraka Bake, Alma Ale Nijo, Alame Sora Sijambala Ninja Tikenda, Alma Dimba Fana, Alame Koran Sonia Alego. Yo.
Loyalty award. Customer loyalty award. Customer loyalty
award. And we also have another award for customer loyalty. The most loyal customer to our company for the customary year of 2020 goes to Alhaji Muhammadu Lamin Silla. Alhaji Muhammadu Lamin Silla of Kunting won himself $2,000 is cash prize, 50 kilograms of rice, Yonna rice, and 20 liters of sunflower oil. Uncle Mohammed Tejang, Bari supervisor of Sierra Zone, Sierra Nabagazon Menkatalia, Kasia Bakel, the man from Molka Krosi. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so it's done now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Managing Director, CEO, Mr. Sharifo Toure, and
this is another category award. It's called special award from the managing director of the company that he had decided to award 8 people with a brand new smart mobile phones. So you call the names, and as they come, so we present them this thing, right? So first Mr. Sanya of Reconciliation Department, and then so Vice Suleiman Ba, Kerr Ibrahim Sise, Michael Mendy, Tanji Bai, Sirandu Chambara, Mariama Jamme.
right? These are special awards. Goes to 8 people. These special awards come from the CEO, the managing director. Each of these awards have been appreciated with a brand new smartphone, a very expensive one. The first award goes to Mr. Mustafa Sanya of Reconciliation. Mustafa Sanya.
Can you call Uncle Lamin to present this award?
Come we have Uncle
Lamin Kamara.
Uncle Lamin Kamara to present this
Special award.
special award. Mustafa Sanya. Fan sang Korea be kelim na bamaro. For now do the safol ka city le bang for small yem malo fan sa be kelim. Sayamba, Cameron sa van kelim. Mr. Mustafa, thank you very much. This is a special award from Managing Director. Another award goes to Mr. Suleiman Ba, Supervisor of Jara Soma Zone. Mr. Suleiman Ba, a special award, a brand new expensive smartphone. It's in so called Yama. Then I create a If my credit is finished, try to call me. Yes. Another one goes to Mr. Ibrahim Asisa of Kerr. Thank you very much, Mr. Ibrahim. Thank you very much. Another one goes to Mr. Michael Mendy of Tanje branch. Can we have the supervisor receive this on behalf of Michael?
Supervisor.
The supervisor, Madam Mariama Jobate.
Oh, can you have Mariama, can you come?
Madam Jamme, can you receive that on behalf of Michael? Another one goes to Madam Sirandu Cham, Supervisor of Bara Zone, Madam Sirandu Cham. Do we have Madam Cham in attendance, please?
Can you receive this on the
Can Madam Sunkari Ture receive that? I'm giving you, Madam. That doesn't mean there is somebody at home. You should know that. Madam Mariama Jamme, the supervisor of Tipa Garage Zone, won herself a special award from the managing director. Mr. Aliu Kamara, Mr. Aliu Domorla Kamara of Brikama Zone, the supervisor of Brikama Zone, won himself another award. Ngamo e ko arami sanala len sunkaro belola ali un ko yow moy. Finally, for special awards, we have Mr. Yaya Mane of Pakaliba branch. MD's award, this is a very special award. Adara Salola. Can we have the supervisor? Baraja sa nyancho ya te kerinde funding chelole bantaba. Ya Adara Salola. What's the problem? Can we have the supervisor, Suleiman Ba? Uncle Kamara, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Board of Directors, the CEO have announced to present 2 plots of land to 2 of our staffs today. So the names are, we're going to call the names on the title deed today. We are not joking really. We can we also wanted to make sure that the staff of this company stayed loyal to the company, but not only being loyal, but they must also be very effective and efficient in the delivery of their services. Because of this, or some of these factors I've mentioned here today, these 2 special staffs of the company really have won for themselves plot of lands at Brikama, Jalamba. Yes. Yes, these plots of lands are only about 800 meters away from the highway to Jambanjeli. So you can see how close they are to the highway. So may I now call on one of these beneficiaries, who is Mr. Bakari Mane of Basay. Thank you, Bakari. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right. Bakari, thank you for receiving that from the company. We are very passionate about each and every one of you for you being there for us. Your coverage is so wide that without your commitment, you wouldn't be able to do these things. So we are just giving you as part of our appreciation to you. Thank you so much, Bakari. And then the next title deed goes out to Mr. Ismaila Sonko of CRR Zone. Uncle, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes. any one of us can win this plot of land. And like Dave said here, we really appreciate your efforts for the year 2020. And then we are very grateful to each and every one of you today. You've made us proud, and then we can say much to really express our feelings as to how much you've been able to do during this 12 months of the pandemic. We will recall that it has not been very, very easy for us from January right through December. I could recall that in January, February, we were talking about the coronavirus in our management meetings, and then it was discussed at the board meeting as well. As it progresses and then figures are rising, management make it upon itself to have a weekly briefing with the staff of the company. So this is very encouraging. This goes to show how much we care for each and every one of you, because we know very well that you are the frontline staff. You are very much exposed, and then you stay there. You are very focused. You really try to do your best to make sure that we serve those customers that are very, very dear to us. It has been a very risky period for all of us. You know, Corona has been something like if your institution or you've been pronounced that you have a coronavirus, and it has a lot of implications on businesses and individuals as well. But Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah that none of our staff are able to contract the virus during the year. All right? And then even though management have put in every bit of pieces to make sure that we stay protected by providing you with gloves, hand sanitizers, for each and every one of you in your offices. Also, we also place giant hand washings there, or hand washings baskets there. And the smell also, like I mentioned, you know, he has been there in Sierra, both north and south. He is one company for us there, and then, you know, they've been able to do it from January to December. And so, in this year also, a whole lot of people can benefit from a whole lot of different prizes and awards for yourself. So, we encourage each and every one of you to do your best. And then, like I said, the going concern is very, very guaranteed. Alhamdulillah, thank Allah for that. And then with your commitment, we'll be able to incorporate more companies in Zambia and continue employing more people. Right? So on that note, I really want to thank and appreciate my family, Saba, Mr. Kawara, and then Mr. Jani. And the rest of you here who are here. And to the press, Fatou, we are very grateful. And then we are also grateful to the Kerr TV. And then also to the Fatou and not the FM, but yeah, so that people are welcome. And I'm also the KFM president. They are with us. Yes, of course. And they are presented by a person again. Kerr. Kerr. Right. We are very grateful to you. And then we also hoping that our Saturday report also will be here, but we can learn that, you know, they are because of very unavailable research. So we thank you so much for coming and covering our affairs. And then the event continues. We're going to break off for prayers, and then when we follow, there will be buffet as well later in the night. So we encourage each and every one of you to stay with us if you can until later. Thank you so much. Yes. So we are searching for lunch, all right, lunch, and then also going to prayers, and then from there the will continue, right? So we might likely exchange our time. When people they can stay here with us, and then so we stay here and then continue the fanfare, like Sadika said, the very beginning, right? Thank you so much.
bi xam ngeen fan la skincare la 2020 lañ wax de waaw fii nag mooy Kerr fan Kerr zero tache perfect skincare saa su ne rek niñ ko dee defee rek loo lañ soxlaati rek maanaam bu ngeen am problème ci seen skin yéen xam ngeen fan la fii ngeen di ñëw suma xarit yeeg am di jàmm yi nga xam ne taas daf lañ sonaloon xam nga doon xeesal ba la ka xum éneew ma lañ ko nag waaye just in case comme ni ko gars yi di waxee rek en cas just in case loolu xew xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw skincare plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay Samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than Samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri Samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skincare products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentee tamit si ay dàlla waaye man nag skincare mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reiner, Kiwi Eye, the whole range, Lighten Up Gold, Tomatine. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on and on. lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox skincare plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu ngi United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes fragrances men's shirts accessories we do dresses as well we do blouses I mean we do shoes name it we do them skincare plus 2020 is our year of perfection zero task fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi taas kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème yu picca boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii love like fire bring my love like fire
Miss V Designer Outlet is the #1 quality and affordable stop shop for all your needs. Get your evening dresses, suit and ties, office wears for both ladies and gentlemen, beach wears, sport wears, pure leather shoes for men, quality belts, bags, heels for all beautiful ladies, original perfumes, accessories, and a lot more.